You see this? The state of the UK weather. I've spent the last 4 weeks testing this AstrHori 18mm f8 in the grimmest weather, praying for a blue sky and nothing. I get all my test samples done, get my thoughts down, come to do the intro, and here she comes, the blazing sun, which I do love. It's completely ruined my shot though, but you know, we can't complain. It's kind of tricky testing gear in the UK this time of the year, but yeah. How annoying is that? I've got to try and get some snaps while it's a bit nicer, because a lot of the stuff you're going to see is a bit grim, and I do have mixed feelings about this lens too, so it's going to be one of them. So yeah, let's just crack on. I'm off to sunbathe in the meantime. Yeah. We are greeted with a manual. You should pause if you want to see what it says. We will run through some of the specs in just a moment. A little bit of instructions there, but there we go. Replacing the lens anyway. Good old silica gel, smallest bag ever, and the lens itself. So there we go. We've got a hard cap there with the R logo from the Rockstar days. A fairly loose rear cap, could be worse. There's your L mount there. The rest is metal, as I can feel as it's cold to the touch. Now, of course, 18mm, nice and wide, fixed f8 aperture. Now, as far as rings go, manual focus ring there. So you've got infinity down to 34 centimeters. We're getting a maximum magnification ratio of 1 to 14.4 and an angular view of 19.2. 58mm filter thread. Not sure you're going to be going too crazy with that sort of stuff, especially with fixed f8. Now, let's see if we can show you this via the loose lens, not on the body, but you can see the shift there. We've got 6mm plus and minus, and let's see, yeah, we're going to show you that properly on the camera body itself. The lens only weighs 164 grams. You can see it's a dinky little thing. It's a fairly solid piece. Feels like it should be hardy enough out and about, but there's not that much to say. Yeah, we just need to get on with it. Build wise, I mean, there's not too much to be messing around with. You put that to infinity as it's marked there and shoot at its f8 and you should be good to go. It's only fair that I show you the shift function properly. Now you can do it in the horizontal mode, and you've got a little scale there. It's a bit tricky to get it on the dot, but I don't think you're going to be messing too precise. Not a scientific thing, but as you can see, you can shift it across quite simply. You can also turn this whole unit around. See, you might just about make out the arrow there, and then you can shift up and down. It's probably not a great demonstration of that, but you know, turn it and then shift it. See, it was better demonstrating it on the camera, of course. But yeah, now can we get on with it? We've looked at it up close. It all feels fine, not amazing. Let's see how it fares out and about. quite like the size and the solid feel of the lens, but when I'm adjusting the focus, I find that that shift ring can get moved accidentally a little bit too easily. It's a decent innovation in all fairness, at least on a physical level. It's just a shame that that doesn't translate to the actual resulting image, as we'll talk about shortly. Build and handling then, give or take the fiddly experience, it's pretty decent actually. I'm getting a lot of distortion, especially towards the edge of the frame. You really have to get space between your buildings and the edge, especially if you want to use that shift function, because you will be cropping in or using the content aware function to fill in the gaps caused by the image circle. Even then, it can be very tricky at times to get straight lines. However, sharpness, pretty decent in the center, falls off towards the edges. F8 does give you enough to play with for the most part, but it's a little bit of a letdown still. Now, color rendering is okay. Contrast, not too bad. Vignetting, again, another problematic one. You can get a bit of background separation if you play around, but nothing too wild. The bokeh is smooth enough for what it's worth though. Yeah, so overall, mixed feelings about the image quality. It's not a complete failure at all. It's definitely a cheap performer. Considering we're playing at f8 only, I'd have to sum it up as fair to okay. Now for those blue sky shots. Just managed to squeeze some in, even if it was after all the testing was done, but we need a bit of blue in this video, don't we? AstrHori seem to be keen on doing something different, and I'm all for it. But evidently, this one isn't it. But as we always look for the positive in things, you know, if you want a cheap, pretty well built manual focus wide angle lens to use in good light, and you don't mind the distortion, maybe you want to try out the shift function with all its flaws, then perhaps the sub £100 entry fee is fair. What do you want to see from AstrHori next? Let us know if you've used any of their lenses, and I'll see you next week.